Welcome to Flashback, a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. On Monday, the federal government insisted it has recorded more successes in all sectors than the past administrations. Minister of Information Lai Mohammed took a swipe at the opposition People's Democratic Party for undermining its achievements as the governing party. He also highlighted the achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari in the last 7 years.
The Buhari administration continues to insist that it has recorded achievements in all sectors, but not everyone agrees with the position of the federal government. Some groups in the country even say these achievements are yet to touch the lives of the poor masses. The People's Democratic Party is also a huge critic of the current administration and how it chooses to run its affairs.
This press conference is expected to address current developments.
At this press conference, Nigeria's information minister rules out the achievement of the present government, especially in infrastructure development. He says these achievements are visible and challenges anyone who thinks otherwise to step forward with his own scorecard.
What infrastructure did they leave behind? How many kilometers of roads did they leave behind? How many kilometers of railroad did they leave behind? At the time of plenty, and I said it here, when they had the money, when petroleum was selling for almost $100 for more than 10 years, what did they do with it? They frittered it away.
The minister admits that the Buhari administration is confronted by many challenges, but insists it is working tirelessly to ameliorate them.
And then nobody talks about hardship. It's a global phenomenon. Tell me one country in the world where it's rosier in 2022 than 2050.
And still on Monday, terrorists attacked a Kaduna-bound train at the Dutse village in Chikun Local Government Area. The bandits were said to have opened fire, shooting sporadically on the train, and later gained access to the train. Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs Samuel Arawan explained that passengers who sustained injuries were rushed to hospitals for treatment. He also added that security forces combed the area in additional rescue efforts.
I'm here to maybe to have an update regarding the incident that happened yesterday. Yesterday night, we were able to talk to him, not him per se. So he is together with his friend. So we called his number. So his number was ringing for the first time. Then the second time we called the number again. The guy close to him picked the phone, and he told us that he left the phone inside the train, but he.
Well, on Tuesday, soldiers were drafted to secure the rail track after Monday's attack by the terrorists. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo visited the victims, including a former deputy governor, where he described the perpetrators as cowards.
A medical doctor, Chinelu Megafu, was one of those who alerted the public on the attack through her tweets. She's now confirmed to be among those who didn't make it alive. They were among hundreds of passengers who boarded the Kaduna-Abuja train that was attacked by bandits Monday night. And though there were reports that night that the train and the passengers were all rescued and safe at a military facility, events of Tuesday morning turned the story around. Family members of missing passengers visited the Rigasa station to get updates from the authorities, who claim to have evacuated them.
I have my brother, he's in the train. He's together with his friend, so we called his number. So his number was ringing for the first time. Then the second time we called the number again. The guy close to him picked the phone, and he told us that he left the phone inside the train, but he nowhere to be found.
Senior military officers later visited the site of the attack to assess the situation. On the governor's arrival to one of the hospitals, a victim narrated his experience.
Then we moved. That old woman, she's with her daughter. So they now asked the daughter to join us and the woman to stay behind. The lady protested a little bit and they said they will shot at, they will kill her if she don't fall. So we keep moving.
They left the old woman there?
Yeah, they left the old woman there.
The vice president also visited the 44 reference hospital to sympathize with some victims. He assured them of the federal government's commitment to improve security around transport assets, despite attempts by terrorists to cause fear.
There is no redeeming feature of this. It is just purely evil. It's cowardly. There's nothing there's nothing it achieves except to just cause fear.
And train services to and from Abuja have been suspended, and military operatives are carrying out various rescue operations, while citizens are calling for firmer security measures to guarantee their safety.
Well, the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, ended his party abruptly following the bombing of a passenger train in Kaduna by the terrorists. The former governor of Lagos made the announcement at the 13th Bola Tinubu Colloquium on Tuesday.
It's a major colloquium being a run-up to the 2023 general election. Dignitaries from across the world graced the event. The Bola Tinubu Colloquium has been an event used in shaping Nigeria's socio-political and economic decisions.
Well, he's a man that is totally detribalized. He's a man that's able to forget sentiments and be able to look at talents.
The arrival of the celebrant kick-started the event that was well organized. Participants and observers from around the world have been looking forward to the intellectual discussions that usually lead to tangible outcomes that often marked the colloquium. But attendees got a shocker when the celebrant mounted the podium.
That is a very serious incident. And we urge the two clergies who are here present, continue to pray, and every one of you to go home and pray.
As soon as he made the announcement, puzzled guests while leaving the venue of the 13th Bola Tinubu Colloquium with the theme Pivoting Nigeria into the New World Order, Imperatives of Good Governance, said it is the right decision.
It is his humanity coming to the fore, and I agree with him.
He has just proved what I know of him. Very selfless leader.
And on Wednesday, the federal government said it will commence repairs on the damaged portion of the Abuja-Kaduna rail line immediately. Not just that, the federal government also said it's considering recruiting locals as security at black spot areas along the route. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amaechi said the Office of the National Security Advisor will be consulted to ensure that those that will be recruited for the service are people of integrity. And that same day, the newly elected National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Adamu, took over from his predecessor. Mr. Adamu received the mantle of leadership from the former chairman, Mai Mala Buni, at the party's headquarters on Wednesday.
After several postponements, the APC last weekend held its elective national convention at Eagle Square in Abuja. At the end of the exercise, 77 national officers emerged, with Abdullahi Adamu becoming the national chairman of the party, while Iyola Omishori was elected as the national secretary. Majority of them were elected through a consensus list adopted by President Muhammadu Buhari, governors and other leaders of the party. Of the 36 offices in the NWC, only 5 were contested, while the rest emerged through consensus. Newly elected National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Adamu, has been officially handed the leadership of the party. He urged other executive members to imbibe the virtue of loyalty to the party.
Failure is not going to be in our vocabulary from today. We will work for success by the grace of God. If any of you, my colleagues, have any problems with me, please don't begrudge me.
As members of the National Working Committee of this party, you have an Herculean task before you. First, to sustain the gains, and obviously, you know, the task before you is enormous. but that cannot be without problems here and there.
Governor of Yobe State, Maimala Buni, who has been at the helm of the party affairs for about 22 months, handed over today. Maimala Buni had faced some challenges as the chairman caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the party in the last few months.
On Thursday, the former Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Andrew Yakubu, was freed. Mr. Yakubu became free after the Federal High Court in Abuja discharged and acquitted him on charges of money laundering. Delivering judgment, Justice Ahmed Mohammed held that the EFCC failed to establish that the defendant received cash payment beyond the 5 million naira threshold. And the ad hoc committee investigating
operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, raided the Kaduna residence of the former GMD of the NNPC and recovered the sum of $9.8 million and 74,000 euros stashed in a fireproof safe. Mr. Yakubu was then arraigned before Justice Ahmed Mohammed on 16 March 2017 on a 6-count charge of money laundering and false declaration of assets. After the EFCC closed its case, Mr. Yakubu filed a no-case submission, following which the judge struck out 2 counts out of the 6-count charge. In his defense, Mr. Yakubu claimed that he had received the monies as gifts and escrows in different trenches. He said he gathered the monies within a 5-year period and decided to keep them in his house, pending when he decides to open a business venture of his choice. He is alleged to have omitted the monies from the EFCC asset declaration form given to him to fill in 2015. Delivering judgment, Justice Ahmed Mohammed held that it is one thing to find money in one's house, but it is another thing to prove that the money was received all at once. He described Mr. Yakubu's evidence as credible, adding that he had no reason to disbelieve it. The judge added that the EFCC did not do a good job in its investigation. A prudent investigator would have asked the defendant to provide the names of some of his friends and other individuals who had given him monies as gift or as goodwill and find out how much each person had given him and thereafter invite them to find out the truth or otherwise.
Trial started in 2017 and it came to a close today. All we can say is that we give all the glory to Almighty God for vindicating him and for bringing out the truth.
The ad hoc committee investigating the state of the nation's refineries on Thursday said Nigeria cannot continue to spend an average of 4 trillion naira on petroleum subsidy. The committee tasked the central government to establish new refineries and stop spending billions of taxpayers' money on refineries that aren't working.
Sequel to the committee's second invitation to the heads of relevant government bodies, the Director General Budget Office of the Federation, Ben Akabweze, is before the lawmakers. The legislators do not take kindly to the absence of the Minister of Finance, the Minister of State for Petroleum, and others crucial to their assignment.
The submission made by NNPC did not adequately provide answers to the request made to them by the letter.
As the lawmakers get down to business with the DG Budget Office, they say continued spending on refineries that are not producing anything amounts to a complete waste of scarce resources. Also of significance to them is the need for a cost analysis of new refineries since the existing ones are out of date.
We have, sir, in your office, a system for monitoring and evaluation in terms of releases or expenditure made by government in respect of turnaround maintenance, the refurbishment, as the case may be, they normally call it, or the repairs on the refineries.
How many liters per day we get in returns for these 445,000 barrels that is involved in this swapping?
There's no line in the budget for refinery repairs. What is happening in the fiscal framework, NNPC has been allowed to deduct monies upfront from the revenues before remittance.
The chairman gives the committee's verdict after hearing from the Director General.
We owe our people that thing so that we can eliminate completely the issue of subsidy. This 4 trillion can be channeled to developmental projects if our refineries are working.
Dissatisfied with the absence of the Minister of Finance, Minister of State for Petroleum and other heads of relevant bodies for the second time, the committee resolved to issue them a letter of summons, after which it will order their arrest if they fail to appear.
The Court of Appeal sitting in Enugu on Friday upheld the decision of the Abakaliki High Court bordering on the defection of Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi and his deputy Kelechi Igwe from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. The lead judge, Justice Alpha Belgore, held that the appeal filed by the candidate of the APC in the 2019 governorship election, Senator Sonny Owoji, lacked merit and that the cases cited were totally irrelevant to the matter brought before the court. Justice Belgore further pointed out that the removal of Governor Umahi and his deputy lies in the hands of the legislature and must be in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. While citing Section 308 of the Constitution, the judge pointed out that no legal action can be taken against a sitting president and a vice president, as well as the sitting governor and his deputy. He therefore dismissed the appeal with a 200,000 naira fine against the appellant.